Hey everybody, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Crowded After Show. Tonight we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 9, Unemployable. We'll talk about writing fan fiction, what it's like being Junior VP of Breakfast Meats, and who would you trust to shoot you. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, there we go. Oh, a little slow start from Abby Vega for the busting into Flo Rida as he always plays us in to AfterBuzz TV's Crowded After Show. Hi everybody, I'm Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. We've got the full panel tonight as we break down Episode 9, Unemployable. To my immediate left, Dani Golub.
Hi everyone, my name is Dani. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Dani Golub.
And at the end of the panel, those sweet dance moves, Abby Vega.
Hey guys, I'm Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega.
All right, we're going to be breaking down Episode 9 now. I mean, a little before the camera started rolling, a little chat. Dani, I mean, we're going to keep it real here.
Yeah, I'm not loving the show right now. I feel like by this point I kind of thought that I would really love it 9 episodes in, and I kind of feel like it's plateaued for me. It had a moment where it kind of went up and I was feeling it, and now it's just kind of plateauing. I'm waiting for it to take that next step. I'm hoping in the last few episodes that it's gonna make that jump for me to make it like a show that I want to tune in for the next season.
And I'm wondering if that's just the difficulty with the challenge of doing like a multicam sitcom as opposed to a single cam, where I feel like single cam it gives the illusion of being more serialized. You can push the characters and push storyline a lot further and really have a different starting and ending point with them within a season. And it seems like with a multicam sitcom, for the most part, I mean, the characters kind of got to reset themselves because it feels like you have to keep the kind of familiar premise of the show.
Right. I don't know. I feel like I'm only invested at this point really in Stella. Like I said, like I love Stella. I think she's funny. I like her storyline, but she's kind of the only one that I keep wanting to tune in for. That's kind of where I'm at with this show.
Abby, how do you
I mean,
feel?
I definitely agree that there was, I forget what episode it was that I was, oh my gosh, I'm liking this more and more. And it's not that I'm liking it less. It's just kind of staying at a, I need something to like spice it up. But I actually am still all about Shea. I love Shea so much. And I was saying before we started this too, that this episode was definitely out of order. Because we were talking about that back-to-back episode last week, how they seemed kind of like they were misplaced. And this episode, it's pretty much verified that this episode was supposed to go before, because Shea's talking about applying to an internship.
And the last episode, she was at the internship.
Yeah, and we were confused by that, because we're like, she never even said she was going to apply, but now that's all straightened away.
My thought when I first heard it this episode was that maybe she was applying to a different internship, but then I realized that that's just not the case. That it looks like that episode 8 and episode 9 may have switched places. For some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if they wanted like the two guests, the Betty White and Carole King, back to back, like on the same night when they decided to do that double episode thing. I don't know. I
would think the biggest reason is I think Shea's storyline kind of got sacrificed for that, for the better connection between Mike introducing the fact that his mom left him when he was young, and then trying to find his mom and bring her back to his life. So I figured like those two big stories, I think made more sense to have those be right next to each other,
right? I see.
As opposed to the little blip with Shea getting an internship.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and he was riding the helicopter again. Didn't he just get fired? Or was this a different job? Is he giving tours now?
We just thought that we just assumed that he was fired from the actual on-air position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the actual driving.
But there was a moment there where I was like, well,
wait a second.
He's not doing traffic reporting. He's like giving like helicopter tours. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Different term.
Yeah,
So,
I was a little confused.
Yeah, well, we'll start with the episode here. Is that it starts off, they're in the kitchen. You kind of see maybe like the differences between parents and kids when it comes down to like TV shows. What was kind of a common frame of reference for parents may be lost on kids. And they, Mike and Martina bring up a Pepe Le Pew reference, which the kid's like, who? What? Wait, who's this?
That's what I was.
Really? Did you guys know who Pepe Le Pew is?
I do, because I used to like watch cartoons with my dad on weekend mornings, and so I did know that reference, but I could see how that would go over some people in my generation's head.
Ooh, yeah, right over mine.
Yeah, but when they, I guess, I always thought he was kind of creepy. Those cartoons were certainly creepy. The way he'd get his Mac on with the poor cat that got painted to look like a skunk, but they had to just have him described as a date rapist.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right, sure. But Bob was a fan of those big cartoons, which I guess they certainly a less politically correct time.
Yeah.
Right.
Which Bob says, the kids these days, you're way too politically correct. Now, I mean, as somebody that, more of age with this time, more of a millennial, do you feel like you guys are, do you feel too politically correct? Do you feel like, oh man, I think we need to ease up? Or is it just natural to you? You feel like, oh, we're just being more respectful?
I don't know. It goes back, I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough because sometimes I feel like I'm not trying to say something offensive, but I feel like sometimes some things I say like will offend somebody in the room, and like whether you're like just trying to make not like obviously like an offensive joke, but sometimes you say things that you don't even realize. Like the word guys, I've taken out of my vocabulary because I didn't realize it was offensive. But like there are people who don't want their gender to be assigned to them. But so like just things like that. Like I had no idea that was offensive.
I had no idea. Yeah. So if you say, "Hey guys,"
well, I the only reason I like really cut it out was because one of my teachers in college would take points off every time we'd said guys because she didn't want us assigning gender. I was in a gender women's studies class, clearly.
Oh my gosh.
So needless to say, now I like, hey everyone, hi. I might have said hi guys in the beginning. So it comes out a lot when I'm not thinking about it, but when I'm consciously thinking about it, I really try not to. But
See, I agree. I think one reason that I'm more careful with things I say is because I don't think I say offensive things,
right.
But nowadays anything anyone says, someone finds a way to make it offensive or take offense by it. I've noticed that social media in every aspect, really, someone will find a way to spin it around and make it look like you're the bad guy if they want to.
You can't win a lot of the time.
Yeah, you really can't.
So I do understand what Bob was saying.
Yeah. But
well, speaking of, another thing that Bob does is that he doesn't want to live forever. He wants to know, like, when the time comes, just put him out of his misery. Just shoot him in the head.
Alice is the opposite.
Nope, she's like, do everything you possibly can. Put me up to any sort of machine, whatever you need to stick in me to keep me going for as long as possible. How do you guys feel?
I really liked that they touched on this subject, though, because I think that in other shows I've seen this come up, too, because to me, if I am in pain and just pretty much a vegetable, I don't want to put my family through that, because I can't even imagine, because when someone's in that state, family's just constantly there because they feel they need to be there for them, even though nothing's going to change. Right. I say, pull the plug.
I'm Team Alice.
Yeah.
Keep me going. Pump me with the drugs. Pump me with the whatever you need. Like, I feel her on that. But that is a really interesting topic, like, to bring into a sitcom, like something more serious like that to discuss and kind of open that forum, because I feel like not just us, but I feel like families are probably having that same conversation, like what would you do kind of thing.
Yeah,
certainly. It's interesting.
If I got injured tonight or something, is leaving the poor AfterBuzz Studios, oh my goodness, something like that happens. Captain America Civil War is coming out May 6th. I got to make it to that. So do whatever you can to keep me alive. I don't need people to come and talk to me and visit me, but just whatever you can do to keep my eyes open.
Yes. So I can see who wins, Iron Man or Captain America.
I can understand. I'm with Alice for that whole thing. And as we talk about that seems like the most interesting storyline for this whole episode. And I feel like this one was just very much like the C storyline. Very much.
Yeah, it's on the bottom of the list.
Yeah, and it's like, because it seems like, as Dani was saying, like, this is a really interesting discussion. Like, it could have been ripe for fodder to really play off of a lot of different things.
I feel like it was the most interesting storyline, but it took a back seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it was the most interesting part of this episode, yet for some reason, I feel like a lot of it got cut, and they only showed you, like, a bit with Alice and Bob here and a bit with Alice and Bob there, but I think that they probably shot a lot more than we saw.
Yeah, maybe. And because it would have been interesting to see what Mike and Martina, had they ever had that conversation, or did that make them start thinking about maybe we should get together living wills for the kids so they can figure out what to do with us.
Something like that. Yeah,
that may have been. I would like to see how do they agree? Are they on the same page? That would have been more interesting. But we did not go there. We were not in the writers' room. We could not pitch the writers to go this direction for this episode. Instead, we focused on Shea and Stella both getting work. That's something we've talked about.
Yeah.
They need to get some jobs, so this is a little bit more job focused on Shea and Stella. So Shea gets a job at a sweet burger place. What's it? Already made burger there.
She's wearing a hot dog on a stick outfit, basically, what they wear at the mall.
To me, I don't know why. I think it's one of those things when someone's wearing an outfit like that, it just, to me, makes everything they say funnier.
Hilarious,
She even said a comment, someone insulted her, and she goes, it's kind of hard to feel insulted when I'm wearing this. So I thought it was funny I thought that was a funny little.
Yeah, so she's embracing like more like the fast food route while she's applied for an internship. She's waiting to hear back, but in the meantime, she's got to make some money. She gives Mike and Martina $122 as a little rent payment there,
Right.
so it's already starting to come in. Stella, though, is doing a little different. She decides to monetize her
Stella.
YouTube channel.
Oh, Stella.
Yeah, you know, which makes sense. People are trying to monetize it in different fashions.
Yeah.
Money ties, as she calls it.
Yes, money ties. And yeah, because everybody's coming to her webpage or her YouTube channel to check out her fan fiction, doing Katy
Yeah.
Perry
Taylor
and
Swift.
Taylor Swift. Sweet fan fiction. But her idea of monetizing it is that she's basically just going to strip for guys that give her a little special sneak private show with her.
And they pay her $4 a minute, I believe she said.
Yeah.
Which she ends up doing the math, $240 an hour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were calling Shea the good one, but she thinks because she's making more money that she's the good one. A little bit of a discrepancy there, but...
Yeah, but we also just see from Shea, just by showing up, as I say, 50% of it is just showing up. And Shea's a perfect example of that, just because showing up 3 days in a row, all of a sudden she's promoted.
Yep.
And we see
Quickly climbing that totem pole.
She climbs that corporate ladder incredibly quickly. To the point at the end of it, she is the junior VP.
Yeah,
for
she had. I'm
breakfast
sorry. When she was on the phone with Jerry,
That was really fun.
this stuff she was saying to him,
Like,
was,
take me to dinner first.
and like I thought her on that phone, and then the way it ends, the line where she gets him to agree, and then she gets off the phone. And
They
she's
were
like,
all just like, wow, that was amazing. Should I be scared? I need to make a comment right now because you saw me like irking in my skin while watching this episode. Ew, Ethan and Shea
loves
needs
Shea.
to
Yes.
stop. It has to stop.
I don't even think she realizes
No,
what's
she
going on.
doesn't. She has no
but
idea.
Ethan 100%.
There was
is
that one
in.
line about him like
On top-
being,
under her?
Yeah, he's like, she's like, you're gonna be under me in this assistant role. He's like, that's not a bad position to be in, or
Yeah,
something.
and
Ew.
Yeah, for
No.
every time we could have thought like, maybe not, maybe not. This, I think,
Oh,
this episode
100%.
overtly says,
Solidified
hey,
that.
yep.
But you realize in this episode that I don't think any of it. I think it's all over her head. I don't even think
is.
she even realizes it. But he is just dropping hints. She's like, I'm sure you have better dreams than following me around too. And he was, oh yeah, you're right. But
Yeah.
really, like he dreamt
Ew.
of.
But
following
he said
her
that in front of the entire family. Like, don't they see this? Aren't
I
they
thought
gonna be
no
like,
one
ew,
noticed
gross?
it.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it just seems too creepy to make happen. I can't imagine them. I don't know. I mean, it
See,
seems.
don't even wanna say
I
it.
just think Gossip Girl, and that's why it doesn't creep me out.
Okay, yeah, like Jenny and yeah.
No, Gossip Girl, stepbrother, stepsister, full on dating. So this is why that doesn't creep me out.
Oh, all right. So we see where.
Like I'm not into it, but
Abby
I'm not
shipping.
like
Abby shipping Shea
totally
and Ethan.
opposed.
Maybe in TV, but not in real life.
Not in real life. Real life, that is wrong.
Well, we find out as Mike is taking around two foreign gentlemen. Another one they want to see Fraser's house.
Right.
And that's me. I just want to see that. But they find out they see the picture of Martina, Shea, and Stella on his helicopter control panel and recognize Stella from her YouTube
Yikes.
And he's
channel.
like, oh.
I was like,
she's
oh yeah,
getting
great.
big.
And then they had one of those another one of those comedy moments where they were talking about two different things, but
Yeah.
thought they were talking about the same thing. And he's like, "Wow, what did he say?" He's like, if she's making money, we're all for
Yeah,
it.
and
But he
they're
doesn't.
like-
They're like, "Wow, you're quite a different dad than I am." And they're like, "I wouldn't really approve of my daughter showing her boobs on the internet." And then
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he mad? Well, I think he always looks like that. His eyes are small. So,
That's funny.
but then we come to another interesting thing is where, and Martina correctly says, we wanted to treat her as an adult roommate. So how do you, if you're wanting to establish an adult roommate kind of relationship, still want to be the parental figure and try to at least offer some guidance, if not discipline?
I know.
I thought it was kind of weird the way Martina wanted to handle it, saying, we should talk to her, but let her make her own decision. I don't know.
This is like a big
It's
no-go.
It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, they're adult roommates, but at the same time, they're living under your roof, so there have to, you still have that. To me, you have the full parental control.
Yeah.
If there's something you're not comfortable with, you can say, you're not doing this in my
She's
house.
doing this out of her house, yeah. But
That's
I think whether or not I was living in my parents' house, if they found out I was doing something like this, they would for sure say
Yeah.
something to me. Like,
Oh.
I think this is the kind of thing that it's like they were looking out for her reputation, for her future, and that kind of stuff. I think it was less like you're living in our house, you can't do this. I think it's more like you probably shouldn't be doing this. Everything you put on the internet stays on the internet, like that kind of thing. I think Stella's just naive, but I think that's kind of like her charm. I find her entertaining.
I guess, but it also just seems like that character at times seems incredibly savvy about things, and then other times seems really kind of clueless about stuff. And
Yeah.
so-
Right.
And I feel like depending on the needs of the episode, those can kind of tip accordingly.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like she kind of can play dumb sometimes, but then you see her like be really like, you'll be like, oh, there's a moment of being smart, like where did that come from, kind of. I feel like almost the smart moments seem out of place a little bit with Stella.
I know. I'd like to see her become a little, I guess just for me in sitcoms and just different shows, I'm not drawn to the really clueless dumb character as much. Like, to me, like Joey and Friends was always not my favorite.
Right.
Like I think the kind of clueless humor is funny sometimes, but sometimes it gets to a point where when you're of this age and kind of so naive to it, it kind of gets a little old in my opinion. But that's just different people's views on comedies, because I know some people who think
like
that's
Andy Dwyer is my favorite in Parks and Rec.
You know what I mean? Like some people think some people that like are drawn to that character and think it's very funny, and some it's just a different opinion.
Right.
But
I guess it's one of those things like where you would enjoy watching that person on TV, but if that person were in your real life,
exactly.
Holy cow! Yeah,
exactly.
You would not be as hands off, I think, as Mike and Martina. Where there would be a lot of yelling,
I like
a lot of demands, ultimatums placed on there.
I like how when they're talking to Stella, Mike goes, do your therapy on her, hypnotize her, or something. And she's like, you have no idea what you do. And then Stella's like, no, I do what you do.
I like that.
I, am helping people feel better about themselves and talking to them. And she's like, oh gosh, like now I hear it, and
it seems too close. It seems way too close. So I feel like Mike and Martina's way of proving a point to Stella is that they're just going to hop on, pay for private chats, and just always be online watching it at all times.
That was pretty clever. I thought that was good.
They bought the private chat, and they she said the one line she goes touche, Dad, instead of touche, and then he goes, no, touche. She goes, it's always touche. That was like probably my favorite line from the episode. How like it was
that
like
smartly done.
Back and forth was well written.
And I like how she goes, Dad, you go to bed so early, and then Martina pops in and he's like, but I don't, so she has no chance. She's always being watched now.
I like how she says that Kim and Paris Hilton also made their start on this, and Martina was like, no, they were already famous first, so now she's using that as her
so they become incredibly famous and then start getting naked.
I also like how they kind of inserted a Jerry Maguire reference with the phone call with Shea.
Yeah.
At least that's what I took from it. And I like kind of when they insert little things like that from like references from other places.
Although I question Stella's, she was great with the math eventually, figuring out it was $240 an hour. But if you look at the counter, she's only on that conversation was like 1 minute and 50 seconds, and she was going to charge him $59.95.
Yeah.
Like that would be like maybe $8 because that's not even 2 minutes. So hold on.
Something's not right there.
Yeah. Some shady business practices happening there with Stella. But at the end of the episode, Shea, rising up the corporate ladder, invites the whole family to the office to see her swanky new place. And they get to watch her just at the scene. I did enjoy that scene. That was.
The phone call was so funny.
That was like one of the best moments in like the season.
That's what I think so too. Yeah. I think that was so funny.
And she gets a call, or a text finding out that she does have the internship. She got it, and she goes, I have to turn it down.
Spoiler alert, we already know she did.
Yeah, we already know.
Side note.
But I mean, we see Mike and Martina realize that no, sometimes you got to pursue your dream. We know it's not going to pay you any money, but this is what you really want.
Wait, what kind of internship requires a 3-year commitment with no pay? Did you notice that little like under the table comment she made? I was like, yeah, I would not take that. Sorry. I don't think that Mike and Martina realized at that moment that like she's probably gonna be in your house for another 3 years. So they just wrote in 3 more seasons.
That's right. Yeah. It's like any job that illegal. You can't offer one for 3 years. 3 years. Expect come on, 6 months.
Most internships now are like required to pay if they're giving that much time. So something's a little legal. Legal action needs to be taken.
Shady business practices in this entire episode. But they say go follow your dreams, and they go on for the beginning of the episode where the girls were actually employed and giving them money for rent to now both the girls are not making any money.
Yeah, they're like, we made sure that didn't happen. They're like, they were making money, and then we made sure that wasn't happening anymore.
We just kind of talked them out of jobs, basically.
Yeah, so we learned that, and then we also learned that Bob doesn't want to be a bird to Alice. That's why he wants her to shoot him. And Alice says, I'm going to do whatever I can to keep you around. I like you being in my life. I want you to be that burden.
No, she's like, you've been a burden this whole time.
Yeah, so what do we
I thought that was kind of sweet. It was cute.
Yeah.
So look at that. That was a short and sweet rundown of episode 9.
We're so efficient.
Yes. We have super fast predictions. Hit it, Mark.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
All right. Abby, what do you got? Predict the entire episode going right now.
I honestly don't even know what to predict anymore.
I have one, and I'm going to...
You go for it, because I don't have it.
Shea and Ethan, something's going to happen.
Well, something's going to happen.
And I'm going to hate it. And we know something's gonna happen. I don't even have words, but like that's my prediction. That's gonna continue to unfold. I don't know if it's gonna be this season, if they're gonna save it for like the finale for him to confess his love to her or something. But I mean, my skin is already crawling thinking about it.
What would you place the odds of them kissing by the season finale?
100%.
100%.
Are you kidding me?
I think.
Where you
But
can hear
I don't know
Andy
if it's
Craig
gonna
go,
be like a reciprocated Shea, and I think he's gonna go in for her, and she could have the total opposite, like, whoa, what is happening?
She's gonna be caught off guard because
Yeah.
she is like naive, as we said, to the
Yeah.
fact that he's into her.
Yeah.
Maybe like someone else is gonna notice it. You know, because like right now we were in a room with literally the entire family and no one picked up on it.
Yeah.
I think someone else, like maybe Bob or Mike or something, another
I think
guy
Martina
will
would
see it.
notice
Really, I don't
first.
know. Like someone's gonna notice. I know that that's gonna. My prediction is like that's gonna come into bigger
Yeah.
play.
If the studio audience hoops and hollers, then I'll be really skeeved down that.
Yeah, like I feel like if I was in that studio audience, I'd be like, boo!
Yeah.
I'd be booing in the background.
Oh, what?
Well, that is going to do it for us here for Crowded Episode 9, Unemployable. You can continue the conversation here on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Give us those sweet 5 stars on the iTunes. Or follow us on Twitter. Hashtag ABTVCrowded. If you want to continue the conversation with us on Twitter, Abby, where can they find us?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dani Golub.
And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week with Episode 10 of Crowded. See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.